Good Wednesday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Here are a few of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. Douglas County Sheriff's deputies say they're investigating a case of gunfire that damaged a house near Bridgeport while its occupants were at home. Grant County Sheriff's deputies say an afraid man had to be flown to an out-of-area hospital after suffering serious burns over the weekend. Wet and mild weather is expected into Saturday with a big weather pattern change coming our way next week. More on that coming up in your local forecast. The Wenatchee Rescue Mission, one of the largest service providers for Wenatchee's homeless population, got a rescue itself this week after its 2 sewage pumps failed. The mission provides laundry, showers, food service, and housing for those living without. 1 week before Christmas, the pumps went out, which severely reduced the mission's capacity for service. On Tuesday, Chelan County Commissioners approved a $20,000 emergency payout from their homeless service funds to help with the repair. The city of Wenatchee contributed $30,000 while the rescue mission was able to raise another $17,000 in donations. The total repair is expected to cost at least $57,000. Douglas County Sheriff's deputies say they're investigating a case of gunfire that damaged a house near Bridgeport while its occupants were at home. The shots were reported at 7:52 p.m. on New Year's Day after the residents heard a loud bang and found holes in the walls of the house as well as the garage. No one was injured. When deputies arrived, they searched the area in the 400 block of Highway 173 but were unable to find anyone linked to the crime. Spent casings from rifle ammunition were found in the roadway. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Douglas County Sheriff's Office. Several North Central Washington Republican leaders have endorsed Nikki Haley for president. The Nikki Haley for President campaign released the list of names for their Washington state leadership team yesterday, which is made up of elected officials, business, and community leaders. Campaign endorsers include 13th District Senator Judy Warnick, 12th District Representatives Mike Steele, Keith Gaynor, and 7th District Representative Jacqueline Maycumber. Haley is one of several GOP nominee hopefuls who are running against former President Donald Trump. The Washington primary election will be held on March 12th. Wenatchee Mayor Mike Poyer made his first visit Tuesday to Chelan County's Board of Commissioners to talk about strategies for his first term. The commissioners regularly host leaders of cities within Chelan County. Poyer told the board with City Administrator Laura Gloria managing daily affairs, he's able to manage his membership on regional boards that deals with issues affecting Wenatchee.
I'm going to stay on the RiverCom. I think it's important as a region, and I'm picking of course, stay on Chelan Douglas Transportation Council. And so I really want to look at this as a different level, I guess, capacity. And so I'm going to take on those leadership roles just so you guys know, and then continue my other city council. Most of my other city council spots, I think.
Most of the other boards. Yeah. So I think the mayor's taking former mayor's appointments and then some, you know, as he mentioned, with the capacity of adding on the city administrator, it allowed some capacity for the mayor to take on more of the regional boards that maybe some of the council members were doing before and that the mayor didn't have necessarily the time for. And so those really, when they are those regional decisions, we want to be at a you know, an elected official position, but especially at the mayor position. So that frees up Mayor Poyer to be able to do a little bit more of that and be a little bit more involved, including some additional assignments. So a little bit more work for his plate.
When we come back, a single vehicle rollover today on Highway 97 caused minimal injury and no impact to traffic. And a mural project planned for Pioneer Park is in need of an artist. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
In Digital Media Arts program, we learn about video production gear and editing by the combination of class projects and nonprofit work and employment.
Over there. It makes things happen.
Yeah.
It's pretty magical.
We work in the industry at the Wenatchee Road, NCWLIFE channel, and the Town Toyota Center events. Every day we work with industry standard equipment for a hands-on learning experience.
Now there are even more reasons to meet at the Pybus Market. Outdoor dining and tastings, the fabulous farmers market, Saturday artisans on the concourse, and your favorites all week long. No matter the reason, it's always time to meet at the Pybus Market. Pybus Market, where community meets.
What once was old now is new to the NCWLIFE channel. Tune in for Bonanza, Superman, The Andy Griffith Show, The Beverly Hillbillies, The Invisible Man, The Lone Ranger, and The Lucy Show. Check your program guide for classic programming on NCWLIFE channel, your local TV station.
A single vehicle rollover today on Highway 97 caused minimal injury and no impact to traffic. The Washington State Patrol says it happened about 9:20 a.m. when a pickup wound up on its top in the ditch just off the highway at milepost 227. That's about 8 miles south of the Beebe Bridge. The driver was assessed for injury and neither lane of the highway had to be closed off for the response. The cause of the wreck is still under investigation. Grant County Sheriff's deputies say an Ephrata man had to be flown to an out-of-area hospital after suffering serious burns over the weekend. It happened early Sunday in the 17,000 block of Road B Northwest between Ephrata and Soap Lake. Police and rescue agencies were called about 1:30 a.m. for a report of a fire in a residential gazebo. They found the victim conscious and alert, but suffering from severe burns. Authorities say the cause of the fire is still under investigation. A mural project planned for Pioneer Park is in need of an artist. The city of Wenatchee wants to hire an artist or team of artists to create murals on all four sides of the exterior of the Pioneer Park restroom and city pool office. Mural themes could include neighborhood identifiers, aquatics, the apple industry and agriculture, or outdoor recreation, among other ideas. But finalists selected will be asked to prepare a proposal for the art. The city is asking interested artists from Washington, Idaho, and Oregon to submit evidence of past projects, a resume, and cover letter that includes a statement of interest in the project, and that's sent to the Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Services Department. The city is aiming for completion before June 15th, and submittal deadline is January 25th at 2 p.m., and more submission information can be found on the NCWLIFE website. Coming up next in tonight's feature story, we will tell you about a 10-year-old who was making a difference for a local food bank through her artwork. Rain showers expected through the week into Saturday with heavier precipitation and much cooler weather headed our way next week. I'll have all the details coming up in your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come tonight. Please stay with us.
So, how's Evan?
Well, he's all grown up now, but I worry about him.
So many dangers in the world. COVID, the environment, the opioid epidemic.
Yeah, I hear opioid misuse is on the rise.
I don't even know how to start a conversation with him.
This might help. GetTheFactsRx.com. There's a whole section on how to talk about opioids with your family.
Offer support, not judgment. Cool.
Talk to your family about the dangers of opioids. Visit GetTheFactsRx.com.
A ductless unit from Carrier can keep anyone comfortable. Take Shelly, for instance. She finds me time in her new attic-turned-home gym. And with her Carrier ductless unit, the temperature is always perfect. No matter how intense her workout gets. Carrier. Total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
NCWLIFE Channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCWLIFE would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
The Apple Blossom Top 10 process begins on Monday and Tuesday, January 8th and 9th, right here on the NCWLIFE channel. Coverage brought to you by our Platinum supporter, Alpine Air Heating and Cooling, Gold supporter, Town Auto Group, and by Apple Valley Honda, Coldwell Banker Cascade, Harvest Valley Pest Control, Prestige Senior Living at Colonial Vista of East Wenatchee, Together for Youth, Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center, and Wenatchee Valley Technical Skills Center. Watch the Apple Blossom Top 10 here on the NCWLIFE channel.
10-year-old Rosie Hughes began making embroidery art for fun, but soon turned it into a fundraiser for the Sage Advocacy Center's food bank. In tonight's feature story, NCWLIFE News caught up with Rosie to check out her art and find out what made someone so small want to do something so big.
Hello everyone, I'm Casey Safford and I'm here today with 10-year-old Rosie Hughes, who has been selling embroidery art to raise money for local food banks. Do you remember if you had a hard time with the stitching the first time you did it? Because you said you draw on the fabric and then you stitch, right?
Yeah, I think it was just super hard to just draw it on the fabric with a pencil. So now I do it with markers.
Do you use a special kind of marker?
Use one of the Sharpie pens.
Oh, Sharpies are great. You can use those for everything. Do you have a favorite kind of piece that you do? Is there a design you do again and again?
I just do a lot of flowers.
A lot of flowers? Yeah. Flowers are really pretty. I bet people love those ones. So you brought some of your art with you today. Tell me what you brought here.
My grandma bought this one. It's just like a bunch of flowers in a pot.
It's really pretty. Your grandma bought this one from you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was so sweet. And I love this one. We've got a dinosaur one here. I'll hold this up for everybody. I think that one's my favorite one you brought. It's just super unique. This one looks like a butterfly on a flower.
Yeah.
I'll hold that one up for everybody. That one's really cute. So you made these and you decided to start selling them.
Mm-hmm.
And then what have you been doing with the money from your sales?
I thought, since it's the best time of the year around Christmas, I wanted everybody to have a good Christmas, so I gave all of it to the food bank.
That's great. Do you remember how much you were able to donate to the food bank?
$160.
That's great. Did it feel really good to know that you were able to drop that off and help a bunch of people around the holiday?
Yeah.
It was kind of a holiday thing, but you said you might do it again next year?
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to see. I bet you'll be in high demand after this.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you had a great Wednesday. We did actually see a peek or two at the sun this afternoon, but boy, steady rain that began late yesterday afternoon continued through our overnight until about noon today. And then a lot of these low-hanging clouds as we look down at Kashmir from our Kashmir Sky-Fi Tower camera. Made for a beautiful shot, though, with sun trying to make it through those clouds and even some bluish color in the top left portion of your screen. Beautiful shot from our Sky-Fi Tower camera. But we do have some weather to talk about, and that's over the Cascade Passes tonight. We don't expect a lot of heavy snowfall over the passes, but with some light snow and the temperatures just right, it could make for some slippery travel. We're talking Stevens Pass, Blewett Pass, and also for you folks that live up around the Loop Pass, just be extra careful as you are traveling overnight tonight. And then as we take a look at our extended forecast, all right, into January 12th, our temperature outlook, look at this, below normal. In fact, we could see well below normal temperatures as we get to about next Friday and next weekend, and also above normal precipitation for Washington State over the next 6 to 10 days. So it looks like winter will arrive as we get into next week, and we'll hone in on that a little bit more in your forecast. 39 though, our unofficial high temperature today. Wasn't too bad. 32 is where we should be for this time of year. Our record high 51, and that was set in 1963. 33 our low this morning. Once again, well above where we should be for overnight lows. 23 is normal, and our record low, 1 below zero, set in 1993. We've picked up 0.18 of an inch of rain, and that since it began yesterday afternoon. It doesn't seem like that's high enough, does it? We'll probably be adjusting that when we get together tomorrow again, and we're still sitting at 7 inches of snow going back to October 1st. Sunrise 7:48 this morning, gained another minute, and our sunset now at 4:23. Taking a look at your Thursday temperatures, let's go right to our surface loop, and tonight we can expect mostly cloudy skies. There is a trough of low pressure that's pushing through our area. Most of the showers, I think, will be in the Cascades tonight. Low temperatures mainly in the lower 30s. For Thursday, mostly cloudy skies once again as storm number 2 makes its way through. We're talking about a 30% chance of rain and snow. High temperatures a lot like today into those upper 30s. For Friday, mostly cloudy skies once again. Here's our next trough of low pressure as it begins to move east. Very scattered showers in the morning. That will intensify in the afternoon, but not much expected for Friday. Highs again in the upper 30s, but boy, things change on Saturday. Here's the trough of low pressure right below Washington State. We're going to see a lot of circulation and snow mixed with rain on Saturday. High temperatures in the upper 30s. That will taper off later in the afternoon. For Sunday, get outside, mostly sunny. This will be our dry day out of our 7-day forecast. Really won't be too bad, above normal with highs in the mid to upper 30s. And then things really begin to change as we get you into Monday. 2 areas of low pressure will really affect our weather both days. 60% chance of rain and snow on Monday. Highs only in the mid 30s, so we could definitely see some snow, and you can see that from central Washington into eastern Washington. And look at the colder temperatures moving in. Tuesday, we have a ton of wind all across north central Washington and around the Pacific Northwest. A 70% chance of rain and snow as this area of low pressure continues across southern Canada. High temperatures on Tuesday only in the mid 30s, and we are talking temperatures by the end of the week, possibly in the teens with single digits for overnight lows. But not yet. Enjoy these temperatures. 32 overnight tonight, 39 tomorrow, 38 Friday, a 30% chance of precipitation both days. That goes up to 60% chance on Saturday, 38 your high temperature. For Sunday, our nicest day by far. Mostly sunny and dry, 37 the high. And then we go back to the wet weather, also cooler. Monday and Tuesday, 34 Monday, and 36 your high temperature on Tuesday. And that's a look at your north central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
What once was old now is new to the NCWLIFE channel. Tune in for Bonanza. Superman, The Andy Griffith Show, The Beverly Hillbillies, The Invisible Man, The Lone Ranger, and The Lucy Show. Check your program guide for classic programming on NCWLIFE Channel, your local TV station. If your screen on your TV at home isn't quite cutting it in watching college football, there's alternative coming up on Monday. Sun Basin Theaters is inviting you to watch the college football championship between Washington and Michigan at Liberty Cinema on their 15-foot wide screen. Best of all, it's free. Game will be played at NRG Stadium in Houston Monday night with a kickoff set for 4:30 on ESPN. All ages are welcome with concessions available to buy, including beer and wine. For those over 21, of course, size of the theater limits attendance to 89 people. So get yourself in line starting at 4 on Monday if you want to watch the big game on the big screen. Eastern Washington men's and women's basketball teams are taking center stage in Washington as far as college basketball is concerned. Eagle men are in South Dakota. They're taking on, South Dakota. That's on ESPN Plus right now. Eastern women home in Cheney. They're taking on Omaha. Omaha. That's on ESPN Plus as well. The Wenatchee Wild ring in the new year at home tonight against a top team in the Western Hockey League. Wenatchee takes on the Prince George Cougars in the Wolves' Den tonight. Prince George continues to lead the WHL's Western Conference standings with 52 points. The Cougars are 26-10-0-0. Wenatchee's second place with 49 points at 23-12-3-0. Austin Drade stopped by Wake Up Wenatchee Valley to visit with Dan about tonight's matchup.
They're a good team, especially the third period. They've still scored more goals late than anybody else has. They've got some of the best young talent, Tarek Parizak on the forward line, and Josh Ravensbergen still anchoring things in net for them. So this is it's a deep team. It's a talented team. It's a team that they feel like they've got a shot at making a long run here in April and May. And so our group has got to be ready to go against them. They're only one of the two teams to hand this group a loss in the Wolves' Den this year. So it's a game we're going to have to bring a full 60-minute effort.
Wenatchee comes into tonight's game on a 4-game winning streak and has a league best 16-2 record at home this season. Drade says the recent play is pretty good considering 3 of Wenatchee's best players have been gone for a couple weeks.
To win games, and granted it's against some other teams that are battling some departures and a few injuries as well, but everybody's kind of in the same boat right now. But to have these guys staying the course and staying at the top of the division right now in a critical phase of the season without some of the best players. Carter Prasovsky was out for a few weeks with an injury as well, so quite a bit of depth missing the last couple of weeks, but for the guys to hold court as well as they did, I think says a lot about where this team could go in the second half.
Wenatchee has a home-heavy January schedule, which Drade says could be pretty good for the Wild, including some days to rest.
And it's kind of a nice schedule here this month, too, as far as just the way the games lay out. We have one weekend this month, and even into next month when we go back on the road, we go up to Kamloops and Everett. We've got one weekend this month where we'll play back-to-back games. Even the week where we play 3 games coming up at the end of the month, 24th, 26th, 28th, we get a day off in between every one of those. So the schedule lays out really, really nicely for this group here this month. Even just to get a breather in between games and get your legs back under you before you got to go back out there and play another.
And when you have this many home games, against 7 in a row and 10 out of 11 at home, it gives you a chance to make a run, and so far so good. We're 2-0 on the homestand.
2-0 on the homestand, 16-2 at home, still the best record in the WHL on home ice. So teams are talked about it. Actually, was visiting with coaches about it before the game on Sunday. Other teams are noticing when they come in that record is starting to get in their heads a little bit, and we've got to do our best to grow that record and keep that going.
After tonight's game, Wenatchee will host Kelowna on Saturday. Even though the Rockets are back in the pack in the Western Conference, Drade says they've been playing better hockey lately.
Kelowna, they've got a couple of really solid players, probably not quite as deep on the scoring lines, but when you're talking about Guys like Andrew Crystal, who's been one of the best players in the league from the start of the season. TJ Ginla, who has a pretty good dad to learn the sport of hockey from. And they've got, their special teams are actually better than you think they are, but their power play is at the bottom of the league. So if we can get opportunities on the power, or their penalty kill is at the bottom of the league. So if we can get opportunities on the power play, make the most of those, we've got a really good shot on Saturday. Otherwise, it's going to be a longer haul to pick up those 2 points.
Wenatchee and Prince George drop the puck at 6 o'clock tonight at Town Toyota Center. You want tickets? Go to WenatcheeWildHockey.com. Wenatchee girls bowling team had Eastmont Lanes all to themselves in league play earlier today. Wenatchee was hosting West Valley. Panthers continue to lead the league as they look towards a big rematch with second place Eastmont. That'll be later on this month. Before we get to tonight's prep basketball schedule, several games on the docket from last night. Boys basketball. Freda edged East Valley 51-49. Cascade earned a 42-40 win over Entiat. Quincy clipped Chelan 68-43. Kashmir stopped Omak 77-63. Manson downed Oroville 76-38. Lake Roosevelt knocked off Okanagan 67-39. Brewster beat Tonasket 69-47. Wilson Creek won at Cascade Christian, that is 52-31. On the Les Schwab girls basketball scoreboard from last night, East Valley edged Freda by 1. Cascade earned its first victory of the season last night, downing Entiat 45-40. Chelan clobbered Quincy 63-22. Kashmir beat up Omak 67-14. Okanagan dominated Lake Roosevelt 61-18. Tonasket topped Brewster 57-54. Manson edged Oroville by 3. Wilson Creek beat Cascade Christian 33-20. Now coming up on the schedule for tonight, Liberty Bell is hosting Bridgeport in girls play at 6 o'clock. Waterville Mansfield plays at Lake Roosevelt coming up at 7. On the boys side, Buteris hosts Thorpe at 5. That game underway. Bridgeport playing at Liberty Bell tonight at 7:30. Also, 3 wrestling matches sprinkled around the region tonight. It's Kashmir and Grandview and Zilla all at Wapato. Royal hosts Freda at 7, while Moses Lake is on the road at West Valley. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Grandstrom. Have a happy Wednesday.
On the next edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, it is part of our periodic check-ins with the CEO of the Wenatchee Valley YMCA, Dory Foster. Of course, they had that capital campaign. One way or the other, they're breaking ground, folks, coming up for the new YMCA. We'll get the latest info and a really big announcement from Dory on the next edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more news from around North Central Washington, you can find us at NCWLIFE.com, on our social media channels, or on our mobile app for iPhone and Android. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. Email us at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us, and have a great night.